Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy, Timothy B, and welcome back to the second episode of the day. This particular episode is the vision of a blind man, guys. Let me tell you, my buddy here, he's from Australia, from the Gold Coast of Australia. He's amazing. He told me to let you guys know his name is GOUGH, like cough with a G. That's exactly how he explained it. So that's exactly how I'm going to tell you. He's awesome, guys. He's a legally blind film producer. Just imagine that. How can that even be possible? How can that? He's the only person in the world that edits, produces, writes, and even stars in his own films, guys. This is amazing. He owns Beer Nuts Productions. You know what? I'm just going to let him tell everything about himself. Let me go ahead and bring him onto the show. 1 second. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
I'm very well, Tim, and yourself?
I'm beautiful, sir. I'm beautiful. How's your day out there so far? It looks pretty cool out there in Australia.
Yeah. No, we're going all right. It's fined up. It was absolutely hosing down with rain this morning, but we're all good now. So yeah, we're on the improve.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I have never been to Australia, but I want to come out there. I'm not even gonna lie to you, buddy. I want to see a kangaroo in person.
Well, where I live, there's plenty around. Actually, you gotta mind because you can easily step in kangaroo poo, just like dog poo, and it's not. It's easy to get off your shoes, man. It's not that easy, you know.
Oh my God, that is crazy, man. Hey, so do me a favor. Go ahead and let the audience know where they can find you on social media.
Absolutely. So, as you said in the intro, I run a film production company. Well, predominantly film. We also do some audio downloads as well. And yeah, it's called Beer Nuts Productions. So you can drink a beer and eat some nuts and watch some crazy production. So we mainly do comedy-based kind of stuff. So comedy's sort of my jam. So yeah. But we're all over social media. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Whatever you're on, we're on. So, yeah, just beernutsproductions.com, and Beer Nuts Productions is all the good folks need to know.
Awesome. Audience, people in the audience, make sure you go and follow my good friend here, Beer Nuts Productions, all over social media. Like you said, if you're on it, they're there. Be sure and do that. All right, buddy, so let's just get right to it. I explained to you right before we came on. It's an interview type process. I got about 8 or 9 really good questions, in my opinion, to ask you. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Hey, look, I ain't ready for breakfast. That's how ready I am.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So I have to ask, because I'm sure the entire audience is wondering, like, how is he doing this? How can he be this amazing? So the first question is were you born blind, or did an accident happen, or?
Yeah, so basically, when I was only a few weeks old, you have your immunization injection. So the whooping cough immunization didn't agree with me, and I had a hemorrhagic stroke, which is kind of like a brain hemorrhage and stroke all sort of combined into one. And so there was a lot of health problems, obviously, when I was a little baby, and the one that has stuck with me has been the loss of my eyesight. So yeah, that's how I lost my eyesight.
Oh man, but you know what? It doesn't even matter because you're conquering. You're still conquering every day, and you have a film producing company. That's inspiring in itself. And big shout out to Robert Bellamy. Thank you for telling Gough about me, because this is awesome, man. It's all about inspiration here on the Just Be Show, and we're glad to have you. We are definitely glad to have you.
Well, so, thank you very much. I really appreciate the platform too, because obviously, like you, I like to, sure that people, I want to entertain folks and make sure that they can watch my films and listen to my audio downloads and enjoy my work, because it's all about entertaining folks at the moment. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. And media is the way, especially social media. It's booming all over the world right now. So congrats again to you. But let me ask you, why the name Beer Nuts Production?
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, most of my stuff is comedy based, so I suppose it gives folks a bit of an insight. They know it's not a serious name; it's Beer Nuts Productions, so they know that what they're going to witness hopefully is going to be a bit of fun and a bit out there, and that's hopefully what the name sort of tells folks when they hear Beer Nuts Productions. They go, oh, that sounds fun. I want to check that out. So, yeah, it really is as simple as that. It's just a fun name for what's hopefully a fun production company with fun films to watch.
Awesome, man. Yeah. As soon as I heard the name, as soon as Robert told me, yeah, you should check out GOUGH at Beer Nuts, I was like, Beer Nuts, that's interesting. And I I immediately went and checked you out, man. And then that's when I realized how great you were. And I was like, oh yeah. But then you hit me up before I hit you up and asked to, let's link up and have the show, man. And I was grateful of that, man. So thanks again for coming on the show, GOUGH. I definitely appreciate you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome, man. So let me ask you, man. This is another question that I wanted to ask. Has your disability brought on more or less support during your producing career?
That's a really good question. Well, look, it definitely. I wasn't able to get funding like the traditional ways of getting funding for my projects, like through networks and other distributors and production companies and even private investors, because the reason when they found out I couldn't see, they were like, yeah, blind filmmaker, no way. So they didn't want to help me out with what I did. So I sort of had I was at the crossroads. I thought, well, I've got these scripts written. I could either let them go or I can produce them myself. And I thought, well, no, I think they're funny and I think people would really enjoy watching them. So I'm going to persist. I'm going to get all my savings together and start up my own production company, and I'll fund the projects and I'll distribute them myself. And that's exactly what I've done. And now to date, we've done 20 films. So, and all the films are available to download at beernutsproductions.com. So yeah, so basically my business model is the more downloads I get, the more films I can make. So that's why obviously I encourage everyone to hit up the website so I can keep the Beer Nuts train rolling.
Awesome, man. That is awesome. You're literally the perfect inspiration for the show. Guys and gals that are watching, are you listening to this? He had a disability. He has a disability, but it did not stop him. They wouldn't give him the funding to continue on his journey, so he created it himself. That's awesome, guys. Never give up. GOUGH is a perfect example of never give up. Do not allow obstacles to stop you. Grow through them and do what you have to do.
I agree, Tim, and I was very lucky. When I was at elementary school here in Australia, I had a wonderful teacher who was really supportive, and she instilled into all the kids that went to that school, it doesn't matter if you got a disability or whatever is up with you. It doesn't matter, there's always a way to get things done. You might have to go about it a little bit different to other people, or it might take you a bit longer, or you might have to walk a different path to get there, but you can get there. You just need to figure out the best way to do it. And so they were really important lessons to learn when I was a little kid, and I sort of have kept that advice going, as an adult and through into my career. Because like I said earlier, when I couldn't get funding, I could have gone, oh, well, that's it. No, nothing to be done. But, I really believe in my work and I believe in what I do. And so I want to, like I said earlier, I want to entertain folks and give them a laugh. So that's why I push through. And like I said, I funded the work myself and I distribute them myself through the Beer Nuts website.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I want to be like you when I grow up. But I seen that you were born in, you were about to have your 39th birthday?
Yeah. Not too. Coming up in December, I turned 39. I'm one of those unfortunate people with a December birthday, so I get ripped off with presents, because people say Happy Christmas and Happy Birthday on the same present, So
right. Oh man.
So I do feel the pain of all the December babies out there.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, man. I'll be 36 this coming October, buddy. But I definitely feel your pain with the birthday. So hey guys, if you ever want to send him an extra present, Christmas and birthday, 2 separate ones, not the same one, we're definitely accepting that.
Yeah, and that doesn't go for birthday I get a left sock, and for Christmas I get a right sock,
Exactly. No left and rights. We need 2 pairs, 2 different days. Thank you.
That's it, man. You got it.
Awesome, man. So, hey, man, I remember you were telling me about the most not the most difficult, but one of your films, How to Treat Women Right, was one of the big it had the most views. It had a lot of engagement and things like that. But besides that one, what was your most difficult film to produce?
Well, probably actually the one before that, which was How to Land That Dream Job, is a mockumentary, and that one we had the biggest amount of cast and crew. So, and it's like I'm pretty much a one man band in regards to producing it. So I get all the crew and the cast together myself, and I organise, costuming and makeup and props and locations and all that sort of stuff. I do myself. So it was that one was the biggest one scale size wise that we've
Mm-hmm.
ever done, because there was we had 22 actors and we had, I think it was 7 or 8 cast members for that one. So that one was huge in scale. So that's what made that one particularly difficult in that regard. But look, every film has its challenges. I mean, the one you just mentioned, the How to Treat Women, is another mockumentary that we made, and that one had its challenges as well. More on the actual filming day itself, because the weather wasn't in our favour. It was pouring rain, and so we had to sort of reschedule the day and get actors to go to different locations and things like that. So, yeah, so I mean, challenges can sort of, pop up wherever and however. So it's just about, making sure you put out those bushfires before they get out of control. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I do know what you mean, man. Again, everybody that's watching, be sure to go and follow my guy, Gough. You got me saying cough, Gough. Gough. It's cough with the G. That's what he told me to tell you, so that's what I'm telling you. Make sure you guys go and follow this man here. This is an inspirational man. He's already inspired me. As soon as I heard that he was blind and had this disability, but yet he was still pushing forward, it proved to me and a few other people that I've already been talking with about you, sir, that anything is possible. If you guys didn't know it was possible, now you know. Now you know.
Well, I agree with you, Tim. I think that people, I tend to think, how can I word this? I think people make things more difficult than what they should be. I mean, life can be a really, really hard thing if you make it hard, or you could choose to, just focus on what's important and focus on what you need to do, and just, be really clear minded and get things done. I mean, I think sometimes folks out there can make life a little bit more difficult than it needs to be, if that makes sense.
Yes, sir. That makes all the sense in the world, buddy. All the sense. One of the things that I always say on a lot of my shows is I always try to explain to the audience that the only obstacles that you really face in life, it's mentally. If you can bypass it mentally, there's nothing in the physical world that can stop you from getting to where you need to go, buddy. Nothing.
I agree. I agree with you 100%, man. I like the way I like the way you worded that, because I'm 100% in agreement.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I do have to ask. I just started actually trying to produce little small, pretty much like promoting everybody's product here in Las Vegas, Nevada, or just in the USA in general. So I'm still learning, and I just produced one. Let me see. What was it about? It was for a buddy of mine's book. Just a small little show. It lasted about 5 or 6 minutes or something like that. But it took me hours to get this thing produced, buddy. So my question for you is, on average, about how long does it take you to do your edits for your productions?
Oh well, the edits are pretty quick, because I'm ridiculously organised. It annoys people sometimes how organised I am. But it's the pre-production, it's the organisation that takes me a long time. So when it comes to how we do our shoot, the pre-production is usually about 3 months. So it's usually about 3 weeks to prepare. That's like I say, organising the cast and the locations and the crew, and making sure that, because I rehearse the actors a lot, so making sure everybody's really rehearsed and they all know what they need to do and when they need to do it and how they need to do it. And so yeah, 3 months for the actual pre-production, and then the shoot and the edit and getting it up on the website all happens within a week. So that's really fast. So yeah, that's sort of my process. But it's all, look, you also learn as you go. I mean, I think that's true with all professions. I mean, my first film, I look back now and think about some of the mistakes I made, and think about some of the it took me so long to do a certain thing, but then I learned how to do it better and quicker, and now it takes me half the amount of time. So it's also the old phrase, practice makes perfect as well. So yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Practice definitely makes perfect. I can't even talk. You have me. I'm so like in awe. Like, wow, this is amazing, man. But yes, guys, practice definitely makes perfect. You just have to keep going, keep going, keep going. Never stop. If it's something that you truly, truly want, you will get it. You will get there, but you do have to practice in order to get that perfection, man. So let me ask you. We've kind of mentioned this a couple times within the interview already, but what if you can name one thing in particular that keeps you inspired to never give up on your dreams? What would that one thing be?
I think it's just the work itself. I read through a script that I'll write and I'll go, wow, I think that's really great. I think it's important sometimes to give yourself a pat on the back and acknowledge when you do a good job. And so when I read a script back and I go, wow, that's really cool, man. I think that's really funny. I think people are really going to enjoy this. I think people are going to get, a real kick out of this and laugh a lot, because like I say, most of the stuff is comedy based. So, I read through that and that sort of inspires me and pushes me to keep going with the production side of it. And every time I think to myself, oh man, this is getting a bit much, I reread the scripts. I go, oh no, I've got to persist. This is really funny. I got to push through, and keep this going so that folks out there can enjoy it. So that's it's kind of the work itself is what inspires me and keeps me going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's awesome, man. That's awesome, guys. Guys, get inspired. If you have a dream, get to it. Write it down. Make a plan. Get inspired. Get inspired most definitely. GOUGH is living proof of it can be happen. It can happen. It's possible. There's nothing that can stop you. If there's a door that's shut in your face, bust it down and keep going. Keep going. Keep going for sure. So, my friend, let me ask you this, and this is actually not even a question that's in my total list of questions, but it's just from me personally, buddy. As far as let me see, how do I want to word it? As far as editing, normally to edit, you kind of have to have vision. You kind of have to see. So, what are some techniques that you use to be able to edit?
Yeah, sure. So there's two things I do. Firstly, I edit by sound. So I write the script, so I know, I kind of know my edits as I'm writing the script, as in so I know, for example, if it's a conversation between two people, I'll know that, at the end of that particular line, I want to go into a close-up. So when we're in the editing room, I just know that when that line is said, right, we cut from the wide shot to the close-up, So I do it all by sound. But when it's something that can't be done by sound, so for example, if we want a shot of somebody exiting a car, for example. So we're from the interior of the car and then we're going to the exterior of the car. So that's something that, I can't do because it's not a sound related edit. I do have a sighted guide there that will help me out and will make sure that it looks good and looks how it should. So I do have a guy Simon, who helps me out as my sighted guide with those kind of edits. But for the most part, I'd say for 90% of the time, I tell him where I want the cuts to be. And it's all done through audio cues, knowing my script and knowing what I want, very clearly when we go into the editing room, knowing that, like I say, at the end of that line, I want to go into a wide shot or I want to do the zoom out at the end of that shot, that sort of stuff. So I sort of get that in my mind as I'm writing the script.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Big shout out to, what's his name? Simon?
Yeah. My man, Simon.
Yeah. Big shout out to you, Simon. If you're watching or if you end up watching, you're awesome. You're awesome.
He will. I'll force him to watch it. So don't worry about that.
I love it. Yes. Simon, so if you're not watching, you're going to get forced. So you might as well watch. I'm just saying it makes sense to me. All right, buddy. Let me add a few people, because I'm going to be honest with you. I talked to a few people, a few buddies of mine, and I was just asking them, like, what exactly do I ask him? Because I'm just amazed in the way that Robert and the way that Robert Bellamy speaks about you. He's so impressed. He's so inspired by not only your work, but who you are at the core, who you are as a person, as a man. And so I was just confused, buddy. Like, I do not know what to ask this man. This whole entire time since we've been talking, I've been trying to figure out what to ask you. And I kind of just came up with these questions at the last minute. because I was just like, I was kind of nervous about what exactly to ask. But then when you told me like, hey, I'm an open book, you can ask me whatever. Awesome. That's pretty cool, and I respect that about you. One thing that I do want to ask you, and this is kind of geared towards Australia itself. With everything going on in the world, the pandemic, the COVID, and all of this stuff, how is it out there, buddy? Like, is it crazy? Because it's crazy here in America.
Yeah, well, we've been pretty lucky here. Where I live on the Gold Coast, we only actually have one active case at the moment. I mean, we were on a pretty harsh lockdown through the end of March, April, and into May, and then it all sort of they started winding it all back. So we're almost back to normal. They do it in stages. So there's like stage 1, 2, 3, and then normal. And so we're at stage 3 now. So we're pretty much open and free. But I was pretty lucky through all of this crazy times. I still had access to the recording studio I use. So it gave me an opportunity to put down a lot of audio tracks. Because like I say, Beer Nuts Productions, we also have 13 audio downloads, which are like 20-minute long comedy sketches. So I hadn't done any for a long time, actually. And when all of this happened, because we were right in the pre-production of a film, and I'm like, this couldn't have happened at a worse time, right? So I was like, what am I going to do? And so I had a bit of a think, and I'm like, well, I don't just want to do nothing. I've got to do something, right?
Right.
So why don't I go through my files and see what I've got written down? Because I always keep everything I write, and I'll go through that and see if I can find some cool stuff that I could turn into some audio downloads. And so that's exactly what I did. So I punched out about 4 audio downloads in the last 8 weeks, which has been pretty cool as well. So yeah, there's now 13 audio downloads up on the Beer Nuts Productions website. And like I say, they're 20-minute long comedy sketches that people can enjoy, all different kinds of formats and genres and stuff, as in like ways to do the comedy. Some are monologues, some are sketches, and all sorts of different things. So I was able to keep it going because, again, I didn't want to sit around and do nothing all day. I've got to keep the Beer Nuts train rolling. So and I still had access to the recording studio, so we jumped in there. Me and a few actors jumped in there, and we put down some hopefully hilarious comedy sketches.
Awesome, man. I'm looking forward to check them all out. I did check out a couple, but I do want to watch and listen to all of them. You're super awesome. Again, thank you so much for coming on the show. For anybody that's just jumping in, this episode is A Vision of a Blind Man. My buddy here from the Gold Coast of Australia. His name is GOUGH. It's cough with a G. He is a legally blind film producer, but he not only is a film producer, he edits them, he writes them, he produces them, obviously, and he also stars in some of his films, guys. This is inspiration at its finest, So if you don't follow him already, please go and follow him now. Go and check out his website and his YouTube channel, guys. You will be impressed. You will not be disappointed at all. So let me ask you, buddy, what's next? What's the next level for Beer Nuts Productions?
Well, I always say, there's 7 billion people on this planet, and I won't be satisfied until all 7 billion have watched a Beer Nuts Productions film. So I just want to keep going, doing what I'm doing, and produce as much work as I possibly can. We're right in the middle of pre-production. We just started actually pre-production on a new piece. So hopefully that'll be out in a couple of months' time. But for now, I mean, there's all the, like I say, we got 20 films up on beernutproductions.com that people can check out. So I just want to keep going, doing what I'm doing. I love my work. I really do genuinely enjoy producing these films and making folks laugh. I think it's a really wonderful thing that I can do. So I just want to keep going and produce as much work as I possibly can. So yeah, that's pretty much it, to be honest.
Awesome, man. Yeah, keep it going. Keep striving to be great, man. Keep going towards that goal, buddy. I know you're going to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of films produced and everything, comedy or whatever other venture you might reach out to, buddy. I'm super proud of you. Now, this next question, buddy, I haven't asked anything about your family, but I have to ask this question. It's a special requested question from a young lady in my family, buddy, and she wants to know, are you single?
Oh, well, I am, actually, as it happens. I am I'm free and easy. Absolutely.
Awesome. Awesome. That's super awesome.
It sounds like I need to get my ass over to Las Vegas very quickly, hey?
Hey, she's waiting. I'm surprised she hasn't jumped on with the questions because she told me, don't forget. She was like, hey, Tim, don't forget to ask him, is he single? Because I want to know. Yeah, man, I guess she's seen your picture and read about you on the post that I posted on the Just Be show. And she was just impressed about, just the inspiration that you are, buddy. And you have no idea. I'm going to spread this particular show like wildfire. And it's going to touch so many people, man. And I'm pretty sure any and everybody with a disability is really going to touch them in a different way because not all people that have disabilities have the courage. They do not have the courage or the confidence to continue to strive forward and get at it and stand tall and conquer every challenge that they possibly can, man. So of one of our viewers, it's April Lynn. It's actually my girlfriend. She wants to know, what was your favorite movie that you starred in?
Oh, what was, well, I suppose the last one we did, I'm just trying to think. I'm just sort of going through them all in my head. I kind of like, I often play a very similar character. I kind of like playing the obnoxious sort of host kind of character. So when I do a mockumentary or like a chat show kind of a kind of a film, where we're making fun of that kind of genre, I kind of like playing the obnoxious, rude host, and it's kind of fun. Like, I mean, obviously everything's scripted, obviously, but it's kind of fun being rude to people. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Right.
saying outrageous things to people is kind of a fun thing to do. So in like the How to Treat Women mockumentary that we released a few months ago now, that was a lot of fun because obviously I got to be very sexist to like a lot of nice people and have them all hate me. It was kind of very funny, but that was a lot of fun to do because it's always fun to sort of I like to push the limits with my work and make people think a little bit as well. So obviously, like I say, in that How to Treat Women, it's all very sexist and terrible, but it's done obviously tongue in cheek, and it's done in a way where clearly I'm the bad guy, and I kind of like taking on that bad guy kind of persona, if that makes sense.
Right, yeah, it totally makes perfect sense, man. Hey, man, but again, thanks again for coming on the show, buddy. Well, before we go ahead and get off of this particular episode, I always ask people, what if you could give a sound piece of advice to up and coming film producers, movie makers, vloggers, things, people in the media world, what would be some things that you would give them? What kind of pieces of advice would you give them?
Well, I think you actually summed it up pretty well earlier on when you said, if there's a door in front of you, beat it down. But you don't necessarily have to beat it down. You could walk around it, or you could jump over it, or you could dig a tunnel under it. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to achieve your goals. You just need to sort of sit down and think about it, And also the other thing that, I mean, like I said earlier, people make fun of me for it, but I'm incredible. I think it's because of my disability. I have to be really organized in what I do because, for example, I mean, I can't just throw my house keys on the couch because I'll never find them again. You know what I mean? So I got to make sure if I'm going to put my house keys somewhere, they're on the bench. I know exactly where they are, that kind of a thing. So I think it goes with my disability, but I'm a very organized person, and that helps a lot as well. But it's more about, like you said earlier, man, if there's a problem in front of you, you just need to sit down and have a bit of a think about how you're going to solve it and how you're going to fix it and how you're going to get around it, because there's always solutions. You just got to figure out what they are. So, but there's always a solution. So, yeah, that's sort of like, I suppose, would be my number one piece of advice.
Awesome, buddy. Awesome, man. Well, we've pretty much come to the conclusion of this particular episode, buddy. Let me say this. If I'm ever in Australia, you got to show me where the kangaroos are. I'm super serious about, I at least got to ride one, jump in a pouch or something, buddy. and we have to sit down and maybe do you guys have like a staple drink, like a certain drink that's for Australia?
Yeah. So our number one sort of drink, because where I live on the Gold Coast is very tropical in climate. It's kind of like Florida. So we have big sugarcane plantations, and of course rum gets made out of sugarcane. And so our national drink is Bundaberg rum, and it's a dark rum and it's a very sweet rum. So it's actually, I've got a friend of mine who's Canadian, and I gave him a Bundaberg rum, and he just looked at me and he said, "I think now I'm going into a diabetic coma. It's that sweet." But yeah, that's our national drink is a nice sweet dark rum. So we'll have to pour you one of them, and yeah, we'll get you. You know, you can feed kangaroos and all that sort of stuff, and cuddle a koala. We can get you doing all that sort of cool stuff.
Oh yeah. Tim. Heck yeah, man. That'll be awesome. Maybe we can drink a beer with the kangaroo or the rum or eat beer nuts with it. Can we feed it beer nuts? That'll be awesome.
Absolutely, man. Of course.
That'll be awesome, buddy. Hey, but thanks again for coming to the show, Gough. I definitely appreciate you. You're a great inspiration, I'm sure, not only to myself, but to plenty of people that's around the world, man. I'm going to make sure I spread this particular episode like wildfire, like I said. Hopefully it comes all the way to the U.S., gets out there to Canada, to Robert Bellamy, and then back to you, brother, because you deserve it. You and Simon. Don't forget about Simon. Shout out to Simon.
That's it. Can't forget about Simon. He's the man, is Simon. So yeah.
All right, cool. And when I come out there, buddy, I'll make sure that I bring my family friends so you can meet your next wife, buddy.
Well, okay, good stuff. There's nothing says the start of a good, healthy relationship like an arranged marriage. So it's good. I like
it. Awesome, buddy. Thanks again for coming on, Gough, and I'll talk with you soon, buddy.
Hey, thanks, Tim. I really appreciate your time. Genuinely appreciate it, man.
Not a problem. Anytime and every time, brother. Hey, guys. So, again, that was my buddy, Gough. It's Cough with a C. That's how he told me to say it, so that's how I'm going to say it, guys. He's amazing. That's an inspiration to not only myself, but if you're a person that was looking for some inspiration, there you go. It's a gift from me to you. It's a gift from him through me to you. I love you guys. And remember, inspire one to inspire all. Smile, laugh, and definitely motivate. And number one, always be better than yesterday, guys. I love you.